I also want to mention when I became housed and I got a place, right? Don't forget that I worked for multiple organizations. I was employed to multiple organizations, okay? The Existence Project, GVAT and the Mental Health and Research Team, Rethink Urban, which actually was an organization that gave me a real opportunity and it actually helped me maintain my stability, okay? At the beginning, the Existence Project was doing an amazing thing, okay? Record breaking, never seen it before. I knew that this is what needed to be done. It was connecting the homeless with the housed and connecting the homeless and letting them share their story in the same room as people that work in government. Government officials, people that work in government, people that have power to create real change in the structure, in the system, okay? That to me was intriguing. I was volunteering at the beginning, my time, okay, to speak publicly in front of people. I'm a street guy, I've been in the street all my life. We don't even do all that, bro. Like, it's not even normal, okay? It's actually against my nature. It was hard for me to do that. But I knew that nobody else was stepping up to the plate the way that I could step up to the plate. So I did. And it led to me getting employed to that organization, a contract, $20 an hour. Hours were very limited. It was just, workshops here and there. It wasn't obviously enough to pay rent or pay bills or do anything like that, but it was amazing. It was amazing to have somebody that's homeless at the time get employed to an organization around homelessness. That's life altering. That's life changing for homeless people. And there's over $100 million a year being generated around homelessness in this city. But you can't. All these organizations are only employing people that have not been homeless. The majority of them, actually all of them. The people that are claiming lived experience maybe might have been homeless for a week or two or maybe a year or two, and they think that they can advocate for everyone else that's been going through extreme homelessness for 10, 15, 20 years. You don't got enough to be running these organizations, acting like you are the spokesperson for us, inheriting all of this funding, hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars to speak on our behalf. You are underqualified, okay? But here's the thing. The Existence Project opened up the door for real change to take place. I was doing these workshops and speaking in front of government officials. It was having a real life effect. It was having an impact, not only on people that didn't know the truth truly about how homelessness can happen and how someone can remain homeless, but it also changed the minds of people that control the system, okay? That's revolutionary. The Existence Project had a revolutionary idea. But to be honest, truthfully, the way that I feel, okay, is that he went in a different direction. The CEO of that organization had other plans for his organization, which is fine. That's up to him. He created that organization. He runs that organization. He put in the work, and he had good intent to start with. So whatever he decides to do, no problem. But where things went wrong, he became so excited and enthusiastic that the impact that we were having as a team from the workshops that I was doing through my story, through who I am, Corey Resilient, and my 15 years experience going through homelessness across Canada, it was really having a serious impact. And he was so excited about that. He was jumping up and down saying, bro, high five. He's like, I can't believe it. He's like, yo, I just got a huge grant. That's what he said to me. I'm not going to lie. That's what he said to me. He's like, I just got approved the biggest grant I've ever gotten. All thanks to you, bro, the work that you're doing and the work that we're doing together. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without him. What I was doing could have never happened without him. He helped me through every single process, step by step. He walked me through everything. If it wasn't for him and his efforts and really going out of his way to try to help me construct my story and pull this off and do things that are outside of my nature, I would have never been able to do it by myself. It would have never happened. I acquired a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience because of him and his organization. He did something no one has ever done, ever. okay? But he made a mistake, okay? He made a mistake. And he got carried away, okay? He got carried away. I saw him get carried away. I also saw him break down emotionally. Working with the homeless, he broke down mentally because of what he was being exposed to. And he also came to find out how corrupt this system in this city really is, that it is intentionally keeping people homeless. That broke his soul spirit in his mental health completely. He just deteriorated. He had to take a step back, which he did. He's a smart guy. But where he made a mistake, okay? He went in a different direction after, okay, so like I said, he's like, high five, man, I just got this huge grant. You know what this means? This means you're going to get more hours. This means I'm going to give you a higher position in the organization, which means more hours, better pay. And I'm thinking, this is life altering for me. I'm homeless right now. I need to get a place. I want to bring my mother out here. I want to have nice things in life, but I can't do it through the McDonald's, through the Tim Hortons, through the Labor Unlimited, through the roofing and construction. Or else I would have already went that route. You can't expect every homeless person to have to take that exact same route. It's not for us. There has to be new opportunities, unique opportunities developed, like through the Existence Project, to give us employment opportunities to have purpose in what we've been through, or else you'll never change homelessness. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're a liar in the first place, because there's over $100 million generated in this city. There's more than enough money to do exactly what the Existence Project did. And he had to fight, and he had to fight for funding. It was difficult for him to get it. But when I got involved and started making an impact, it kind of made things easier. He started to build more momentum. I helped him build some of the blueprint of his organization, but he did me wrong. And that's okay. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. He had good intent, but he did make a critical mistake. He went in a different direction. A female came to him that saw my video talking about the organization, and he started investing his efforts and funding that he was generating from this huge grant that he just got, thanks to me and my impactful, workshops I was doing. And she completely bypassed me, never said a word to me, didn't care about me. She's an opportunist. She looked at me as an opportunity. She thought in her head, if he can do this, I can do it better. So she bypassed me, went to him. He fell for it because, in my opinion, I noticed that he only hires females. I don't know why that is. I don't know if he uses that to his advantage. Maybe he thinks maybe he can develop a more intimate relationship through that process, because he's the breadwinner. He's got the money. He cuts the checks. So I felt like there was something manipulative about him only choosing to go after women to hire. Women are very intelligent, and they bring elements into many different things that men do not have. I'm not taking away from that, and I would want anybody to have the opportunity that I had. But when you bypass me and you don't even give me credit and you don't care about me and you're just looking at me as an opportunity or a meal ticket, and my boss falls for that because of his weakness and his manipulative mentality, I felt betrayed, and it hurt me. And my hours end up getting cut in half even further. So I'm hardly even making anything or surviving. Less workshops. He starts training her, paying her, and putting his efforts towards her, after he just told me he was going to do all this for me. And he failed to do that. He switched up on me, and he did not follow through on his word. And I didn't say anything. It hurt me so bad, and it also changed my life in a negative way, and made me less independent. This was the only way I would ever find a way to earn money for the last 15 years of going through homelessness. This was a miracle for me. It meant everything to me. It changed my life, okay? And it was changing the city. And he switched up, went in a different direction, started training her, started investing in her. My hours got cut in half. Instead of me moving up in the organization, like he said, he even mentioned me becoming the facilitator and running the org while he goes back to Ottawa to visit his parents. Now, here's the thing. I have to be honest about this stuff, or else nobody's going to learn from this. And people need to understand this. They have to learn this. It's very important. But anyways, so he betrayed me, and I called him out. And I said something about it because I'm a street guy, and I go by a code of ethics and street honor and morals and principles. He terminated my contract, and then that female, I said something to her about it, and then she tried to twist what I said and try to turn him against me, and he made a public statement saying that I was threatening her, which was false. So false criminal accusations. okay? And, you know, it was devastating, man. You know, and yeah, I lashed out. I called people names. I'm a street dude. Don't get it twisted. These people that are working for these orgs are fake. They're not real lived experience people. Real fucking dudes from the street talk like I do. People that really been through some real shit and have real trauma and been to jail and fucking been in gangs and criminal elements and shit, they talk like me. Okay? So if you can't handle that and that's too much for you, then you shouldn't be working with homeless people or, people with, criminal histories or any of that. You shouldn't be acting like you're offering opportunity for them if you can't deal with the reality when somebody pulls your card. So anyways, now he's trying to discredit me and publicly, make me look bad, and make a false claim that was totally untrue when before I even got to overlook the conversation, when I sent him the conversation, and then he admitted publicly that he was wrong. But then he still tried to swindle it and to make it seem like I was being an aggressor in nature, and he could see where she was coming from. So backstab, totally false. Your character is totally compromised. You're a fraud like everybody else then at this point. Okay, so now listen. That's my experience trying to do something revolutionary and change the way things are around homelessness in this city of Victoria, BC. That's how it started. Where I was ended up, in a housing situation that was like a transitional housing situation that wasn't even meant for me. Like, I don't have any addictions or alcoholism or anything, but they offered me a place to live. They went out of their way for that. Now, I feel like I got used for a year's worth of my labor from that place as well, even though they did a lot of good for me. There was some manipulation and there was some things that were false, and there was some unprofessionalism in the staff that caused me to kind of get bent out of shape and pull their card a little bit too. I endure as much as I can, but then when I say something, I'm automatically need to go to counseling, so, which they've been proven wrong already, clearly. So I'm good. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with me or my mental health, and I don't need counseling. I just need people to stop lying, and I need people to stop being manipulative and stick to their word, and I need the city to get out of our way if it ever wants to allow homelessness to evolve from its current state. But it's intentionally profiting from it and capitalizing off of it, lying through their teeth, and the city is intentionally standing in the way of the homeless people, which is causing chaos. The crime rate's increasing. They're doing things wrong out of greed, and this is a result. This is a consequence. The homelessness, the addiction, the crime, and everything else. Okay? So, and they're using you, the community, the public, and your money and your fundraising and everything you're contributing, all your energy, and they're using it and misusing it, mishandling it for their own greed, and it's causing more of an issue. So you've been extorted. It's tax fraud, extortion in many different ways. So I got into other organizations, and GVAT was a good organization. They still are a good organization. A lot of these orgs do good work, but I can tell you where they went wrong, okay? And I'll be honest about that. I started struggling because of what happened to me in that process, with my mental health, of course, right? Naturally. But that's what they like to call it, mental health issue or whatever, right? Not really. It's just a response naturally, emotionally, as you should, to something that was wrong, that you experienced, an injustice. You should be emotional, as I was. Now, I deal with things differently because I'm from the street. And again, if you can't handle that, you shouldn't be working with marginalized communities, period. Okay? So you're a contradiction already. Now, they employed me too, $20 an hour, which was a suggestion from the Existence Project from, the CEO, I won't say his name, but he is the one that wanted to pave that way and create financial opportunity for homeless people so they could elevate themselves out of homelessness, which is what needs to happen, instead of all you people creating all these organizations to pocket all the money and act like you're doing something detrimental to the community and helping the homeless people when you're literally just contributing to it. So that way you can keep it where it is, so you can keep requesting funding every single year and keep yourself employed. Because if the problem's solved, there's no need for any more money, right? That means your employment contract is done. That means all your fundraising goes out the window, okay? They're not being honest. They're lying, okay? So GVAT, I'm in the mental health and research team. I'm there, $20 an hour. I don't know, like maybe like twice a month for an hour. No life-changing financial, situation or anything like that. So I do that for a while. I start having problems. Some of them start seeing it, and they come to me trying to, basically preach to me about, I don't know, whatever they're trying to preach to me about. I didn't inherit it because of the fact that I've already been betrayed in this exact same manner through these orgs, through these people that I trusted that gave me bad advice, that were manipulative in nature, and they've let me down. So I am no longer willing to take your advice or what you have to say when you don't have as much experience as me in the streets with mental health, with addiction, with criminal elements, with any of this stuff. You guys are little babies, little baby boys, okay? Still city tatted to my wrist, real gangster shit, real mental health, real criminal elements, real fucking hood shit, real poverty. If you're not on that level, then you shouldn't even be talking to me. You're not even in a position, okay? So I start asserting myself as I should. They didn't like that. So they basically stopped inviting me to these mental health sessions. Now, there are people in GVAT and, in these organizations that have done more than enough for me, that have went far, far, far out of their way to help me. Very much so. And I can never take that away from them. And they've done great for me. And it changed my life. And it did a lot for me, Not taking away from that. Let that always be known. So that cannot be, tainted in any way. But it does not take away from the truth that I am delivering right now. It does not take away from the truth. The truth still remains. And they let me fall off the face of the planet. The place that I was living, they try to get me upset. I was in unnatural circumstances that caused me to have a lot of stress in that place. There's a lot of pressure that they put on you, and unless they take off the staff and they put more pressure on the residents to do most of the work that the staff should be doing, but I'm sure they don't get paid enough, and they're doing it. They're not government funded, so they're hardly existing. And that's one place that should be funded more than any of these other false, fake organizations that are there to capitalize and profit. But they still made mistakes. They really did. And it caused me to lash out, and they used that against me, and they kicked me out after a year when I already had the money multiple times to get a place and start up. By the time that year was done, I ran out of the money, and then they pulled my card, kicked me out, and then I went back to a tent. So I went from employed to in this transitional housing to them turning on me, betraying me, but literally letting me down in ways they should have never done, setting me up for failure completely, and instigating and provoking me unnecessarily in certain circumstances that caused me to lash out because I am a street person and I go by those morals. And yeah, I've been through a lot. So you should expect that if you're not going to, be correct in any manner. So I pull people's cards. That's what I do. But I'm very just. I have a heart. I care. And I'm looking for the truth. And I'm looking for the honesty in people. I need that and I want that. If I don't see it, I'm going to hold them accountable. As I tell people to hold me accountable. I need that. We all do. Anyways, so here I am in a tent, no money. Went from employed to nothing. They didn't say a fucking word to me after that. Nobody talked to me. No one said shit. They didn't give a fuck. So I flipped the script. I'm saying again, I did meet with, an individual from Rethink Urban, the CEO that owns Rethink Urban. I'm not going to name actual people's names, but organizations' names, I'm allowed to do that. Individuals, maybe not. Because these are public figures, public community people. I'm allowed to speak about this. It's not an invasion of privacy. It's not slander. It's not defamation, says the law. So, anyways, this is all truth and through my own personal experience. And I have no malicious intent towards anyone. But anyway, so Rethink Urban was like a great organization for me. Created opportunity, unique opportunity, which put money in my pocket that he didn't need to do. It took money away from him and put it in my pocket to elevate me, to keep me stable out of homelessness. And that's exactly what it did. I also got certifications through that process. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Okay? And he paid for certain things to get me certified for certain things like community safety and well-being. And I also, on my own, took the initiative to get a peer support certification through AVI, and even with these certifications, I still can't get anywhere or get anything or get into this whole, homelessness thing. And there's all these organizations around homelessness, but not one real motherfucker from the streets employed in any of them, period. And that's on purpose. They're literally only employing themselves, raising funds, getting grants from the government, from the federal government, and putting it all in their own pockets and hardly creating any opportunity at all for the homeless guy. Very little, okay? No employment programs. I'm still here and I'm still unemployed. But I'm meeting with all these organizations know I exist. They all let me fall off the face of the planet, go back to homelessness. I was meeting with the head of the entire coalition to end homelessness for 2 years for lunch every month and talked about absolutely nothing. Okay, sure. I don't need a counselor or a support or anything like that. Okay, I need opportunity, unique opportunity for me to continue having stability and moving forward in a progressive manner. And there's more than enough money and there's more than enough opportunity there. They're just misusing it, mishandling it, and they're doing it on purpose so that they can keep profiting and the homeless guy can't get in on it. Through that process of becoming employed to all these organizations, that's what I discovered. That told me, it gets worse. Then I got into some meetings with the UN. United Nations. They're the biggest entity in the world, okay? UN, United Nations, look them up. They have every resource available to them to change my life, to give me an opportunity, to get me grant funding, to get me employed to a program, or employ me to run a program idea that I came up with. So they came to me and invited me to share some of my ideas about some programs that could be run in Victoria, BC to help with poverty and homelessness. They created a board in Victoria, the UN created a committee and a board in Victoria to do research on poverty and homelessness. And find someone with lived experience to give their ideas on some programs that could be run that could improve the quality of life for homelessness and poverty in Victoria, BC. So I said that's something I would like to do. So I participated. They paid me $60 for an hour and a half, 2 hours every time I went, which was like once a month. Not life-changing money at all. Can't pay bills, can't do nothing with it. Can buy a couple little groceries here and there. Not going to do anything for my life. But it was still an opportunity and it was great. I'll take anything. And I'm also doing something that's purposeful for me. Okay? I'm finding purpose in this. Purpose to live. We need that. Broken homeless people that have been through the real trauma, the real gangster shit, we need that. Okay? So, and there's more than enough opportunity for us, but they're hogging it all and they're extorting it and it's greed, and the system has always been built on a foundation of corruption since the dollars began. That's why the dollar's collapsing from illegal printing from the government and the banks. It's called inflation, right? It ties into homelessness and everything else around poverty, okay? They're saving themselves and they're letting everyone else die below them on purpose. So anyways, the UN, here's all my ideas, says that they're going to employ me and get funding for me to run these program ideas, which was a podcast and a music studio for people that are struggling with homelessness, maybe even a studio for youth, homeless youth, okay? And I could be the host of that, and they said that. They told me that. And then right at the last minute, they're like, oh, sorry, we just got approved for our $63,000 grant to simulate homelessness, which means you're simulating my fucking life and my lifestyle and what I've went through, my blood, sweat, and tears and suffering. You're getting $63,000 to fund yourself to run a program around simulating homelessness. Who more deserves to be doing something like that than you guys that have no lived experience in homelessness? Me. So why are you not why aren't you giving me the $63,000? Why aren't you changing the life of a homeless guy that earned it, that got a place, that got out of homelessness and survived all the odds against them? Because the system is built against you and to keep you homeless and to keep you in poverty, and they use you for your ideas and your lived experience. They request more funding and say, look, we're making this much progress. We need another $100,000 grant. We need $100 million again this year. And don't worry, we're going to make some more progression. It's fraud, okay? And it's mass genocide. So then they turned on me right at the last second, said, hooray, we got approved for our $63,000 grant to simulate homelessness, which is simulating my fucking life, my blood, sweat, and tears and suffering. What the fuck? And then they're like, oh, but sorry, actually, we can't get you any grant funding. Maybe you should go to the Red Cross, or maybe you should go to these other organizations. I'm not an LLC, or I'm not a registered business or a nonprofit or a charity. I can't request funding. I can't get grant money. I'm a criminal. I'm a street dude from the fucking street that just overcame homelessness a year ago. What the fuck are you talking about? They did this on purpose. This was malicious. This was intentful. And they offered some other opportunities to me that were very small, little petty, like another little peanuts and some little crumbs that's not going to pay my rent, right? To help them build their empire up some more, make them look good. And then they let me fall off the face of the planet. Never emailed me back, never talked to me again. They knew I was upset about that, so then they just didn't even talk to me anymore. You know what I mean? And so I should be upset about that. You guys are fraudulent. You're contributing to the downfall of somebody that's trying to stay afloat, have peace in their life, and just live a life, and just never have to go back to poverty and homelessness. But you guys intentionally did that to me. And this whole system and this whole city is doing the exact same thing. The coalition's doing it. Our place is doing it. Okay? And all these other fraud people that have no real fucking lived experience are doing it. So now I've created my own organization, okay? Might even register it as a business or a charity or a nonprofit, I don't know. But they're never going to cut me any funding anyways, because they know that I'm not participating with their pyramid scheme. But anyways, Victoria BC Profits. Okay, victoriabcprofits.ca. This is my website. I made the website. All my videos are on it. Bodies of proof how Victoria BC commits fraud around homelessness charity data. They're not inputting all their data just to the CRA and to the charity data, Bloomberg's and all that stuff. They're keeping things out. They're cutting costs. So that way they can capitalize and take all that profit and put it in their pocket and put a very small percentage towards the cause, which doesn't even affect the homeless guy at all. And he's still suffering, struggling. The city people were making showers in Beacon Hill Park, creating them so that homeless people could shower, because all the other places are dirty. It's bed bugs. It's disgusting. They don't clean, it's because they're sucking up all the money and resources and they're not putting it towards what needs to be done. And things are deteriorating. So it's very poor quality. Inside of these shelters, there's bed bugs. There's 30 men per dorm, and they're making $30,000 a month at the Salvation Army. It's disgusting what they're doing. And it's totally destroying the lives of these homeless people, making it so they can't overcome homelessness. They need to get exposed. So that's what I'm doing. I'm printing business cards. So if you want to support me in this endeavor, go to victoriabcprofits.ca. There's a support tab. There's a financial tab to see all the how much money is generated from these places like Our Place, Kool-Aid Society. Kool-Aid Society generated $36 million last year in 2021. Our Place did $15 million. And this is just what they're claiming. This is just what they're receipting, okay? There's things like donations and gifts that they don't have to receipt and claim. And we forgot that $5 million. Oops, we forgot to put that in there. But haven't been put under investigation yet. And they haven't been investigated in any way in their personal expenses and their actual bank accounts. They're taking this charity money, they're investing it into other endeavors, like maybe real estate, maybe something else that generates wealth and money, pocketing that for them and their families, and still depriving the homeless of everything they really need. They just give them the bare minimum. We just get the bare minimum. The food slop, it makes you sick. It adds and contributes to the cycle of homelessness. And they kick you out early in the morning. You sleep on a little thin mat this big. They're fucking killing us, okay, on purpose. And they're making a fortune off of it. And this is not new. This is an international business model. It happens in America and it happens in Canada. Victoria is the worst for this in this country of Canada. They're the worst. It's the head of the snake, capital of British Columbia. It's Victoria and Ottawa. Those are the two heads of the fucking beast, okay? They know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. They're lying through their teeth. They're fucking running campaigns and fundraising and generating fucking millions of dollars. And they're just fucking drowning out the homeless as they die off and they fucking run somewhere else. Okay? It's all on purpose. You couldn't make this by a mistake. Okay? So I'm going to expose them, and I do need help. You know what I'm saying? Because this is putting me at risk in many ways. They will find a way to get me out of my housing here, because I no longer contribute to their fucking machine and their fraud. And I'm calling people out by organization and names, and that's going to cause legal issues, and I don't have the money to pay for lawyers and shit like that. It's going to probably get to that level, because this is very serious shit that I'm claiming, and it is very, very real. And I have bodies of evidence and proof on this website that I would love for you guys to see. So please, please go there. Even submit your own testimony of some corruption that you've experienced while homeless in Victoria, BC. There's a forum, there's a blog, okay, and there's a way to support. So this is what I'm doing. These people don't deserve to be in the positions that they're in around homelessness, and they're killing people intentionally, and they're profiting from it at the same time. All of these organizations out here are contributing to this problem, and they're all acting like, oh, well, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. How many fucking times did you have an opportunity to sit with me and listen to me, but you cut me out of the deal? And you let me fall off the face of the fucking planet, and I still prevailed. I got a probably better fucking place than you. 1-bedroom condo. But again, they will find a way to get me out of here. It's a conflict of interest. And they're all connected. All these organizations, they're connected with my housing management, okay? There's people that work for this management that already don't like me and don't agree with me. And a conflict of interest. Again, so they'll make something up and get me out of here. That's okay. I have another move to make, and I'm never taking my fucking foot off their necks ever again for the rest of my life. And I will relocate outside of the province if I have to, and continue advertising my campaigns. I have very limited amount of money, very little. I'm hardly even making it, surviving, and they know that too. And they could have changed my life. They could have given me opportunity. They have the power, the finances, and ability to give opportunities to people like me that deserve it. But instead, they played that fucking game with me. So the community needs to know, the city needs to know, the country needs to know, and it needs to stop. And you need to stop supporting them financially in every single way, all their private sponsors. I hope they see this video, and I will find out who their sponsors are, and I will send them this information to this website, and I will continue to advertise on a mass level scale. All the money I have, I won't even eat. I don't care. I won't even eat. I'll put it all to advertising and advertise that website and my videos on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Google Ads. I just paid for the domain. I paid for hosting. That took out of my food money for the month. That hurt me. You know what I'm saying? They know that. They know that I'm not in a financial position to take them on or challenge them or run campaigns against them, but I will find a way. Okay, and there are people, good people, that have a lot of money, that if they did see this and understand and find out that this is true, they probably wouldn't financially support you guys anymore, and they might redirect their efforts towards me. Who knows, But if not, doesn't matter. I'm still going to do whatever I can, and I'm never going to stop. Even if they find a way to get rid of my income, my housing, which is at risk because of me pulling their card on this stuff, I will still survive. I've survived everything you guys have thrown against me. This city, this province, even the hood where I come from, people have tried to kill me. I've had gangs on my head, hits on my head, and I've defeated it all. And you know what? All in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, my Father in heaven, my God. And the only way to the Father is through the Son, Jesus Christ. Just know that, okay? That's really going to piss these satanic cults off out here and these demonic people. And that's okay. If you haven't experienced God and you don't believe in God, that's okay. If you open up your heart and you cry out, He'll reveal Himself to you in ways that is undeniable to you. But if you have that attitude and you're like, nah, I don't even want to hear this guy now because he said God or whatever, you will never know God. But that's okay. That is the magic behind how I survived, how I overcame the streets, homelessness, addiction, alcoholism. Everything I've overcome is from the power of God. If you don't believe me, go watch my testimony on my YouTube channel, Corey Resilient. You don't believe it? I study the Bible, the evidence study Bible right here. Like, it's that when I was in a jail cell when I was 18, this book was with me. This Holy Bible was with me. When my dad died, I missed the funeral. People were trying to kill me. And God preserved me and saved me from all of that wrath. Okay? So that's the secret behind my strength and why I'm able to do what I do. Okay? There you go. I'm out of here. Corey Resilient. Share this video. Send it to every single news art place in the province and in the city. Send it on my behalf. Okay? Share it everywhere in every single group that has to do with this city. I need support and I need help. So